Hello everyone, welcome back to the UAE FMA podcast. I am Shakir Mohamed from the Advanced Studies and Training Center here in Dubai.
It's a very unusual situation for me because normally when I'm doing UAE FMA podcasts...
How would you describe yourself, Mr. Paul, beyond the job title?
Most people see me as a friendly person who's willing to get involved in anything. Michael Jackson's moves this today on, when I was in the office.
How did you end up your position now in financial markets?
Now that's very unusual change from industry into financial trading.
So that means anyone can do the trading and they can become the trader if they have any kind.
Anybody can become a trader, successful trader. This is an interesting point. Give me this money and then I will trade it and I will make you all of this money. Never give anybody money.
It was a pleasure talking with you and we look forward to meet you in November with GCC FMT conference. We can see you next time.
Great, it's a pleasure to have been here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome back to the UAE FMA podcast. I am Shakir Mohamed from the Advanced Studies and Training Center here in Dubai. Our guest today took one of the most unusual routes into the financial markets. He started on the shop floor at British Steel, studied control engineering while he worked. He went on the lead operation at Mitsubishi, Tyco across the UK and Europe. He began trading in 1998, built his own system, and in 2010 he founded the UK Trading Academy. Today, an accredited master level educator in financial trading, he has managed funds in international institutions, spoken at conferences around the world. And you may also recognize him as the guest of this podcast. Mr. Paul Chalmers, welcome to the new show.
Well, thank you very much, Shakir. It's a very unusual situation for me because normally when I'm doing UAE FMA podcasts, I'm the interviewer. So it's very different to be the other side of the camera, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's a pleasure to have you be here. For anyone meeting you first time, how would you describe yourself, Mr. Paul, beyond the job title?
Beyond the job title, most people see me as a friendly person who's willing to get involved in anything. I think I was trying to practice with a young member that we had in ASTC today, Michael Jackson's moves this today on when I was in the office. So I think most people would find me as someone who is very friendly.
Yeah, that's good. And I can see that your career started in engineering and manufacturing, not in finance. How did you end up your position now in financial markets?
Well, very unusual is actually divorce. Now that's very unusual change from industry into financial trading. But divorce hit, unfortunately, and I had to make some big decisions in my life. Couldn't keep doing the roles that I was doing in very senior management within companies. But my hobby was trading. So I had to stay home with the children, make sure that they were okay, because now the children were living with me. So I decided that I was going to make my hobby into my job. And that's how I got into financial trading.
So you realize your future will be in financial trading, right?
Yes, I did, yes.
So how's going everything so far?
Everything has gone great. We've taken UK Trading Academy from £100 company. So actually it was divorce. I know that's a very unusual situation to say, how did I change from being somebody who was in very senior positions in industry all of a sudden to be starting a trading academy? But that's how it happened. I had the children came with me. So I had young children to look after. I couldn't go flying around the world to different sites, mainly in Europe and UK. And I decided that I was going to make my hobby, which I'd been doing for trading basically since 1998. I decided I was going to make my hobby into my full-time job and start an academy that would actually teach people the right things.
And one more thing I noticed that while you're working in British Steel and automation technician, you studied control engineering at the Open University while you're working. So what did you those years, what teach you? Like how you manage and how do you become that person?
I think working under duress, working with problems, working and having to make sure that I scheduled my time correctly. Because during that period of time when I was also working, and I wasn't just working a day shift, I was working mornings, nights, afternoons. So my whole body was getting changed. Sometimes I'd be working all the way through a night. But still, I had to get the exams done. I had to get the training done. I'd be home. We had 2 little babies. They'd be crying their heads off. You try doing all of those things. So I think it taught me a certain amount of patience, also control in my life and making sure that I schedule things correctly so that I could get everything done. despite the problems.
And I can see that in 1998 you started trading. So how was your experience in that time?
Oh, very different from now, because I don't just go on as you've seen me today. You know, I don't just go on and place trades very simply on my broker account or MetaTrader. I had to phone up the brokerage and say, I want to buy this and I want to sell that and I want to close these positions. So you were actually phoning up during that period of time. There was nothing online whatsoever.
So you build your own system. Why you didn't follow anyone's system at that time?
I suppose it's trust. During that period of time, I saw a lot of proliferation of people putting things on the internet which were a load of rubbish, basically. You know, it is the biggest industry in the world, therefore it has the biggest number of scammers. Yes, it was much smaller during that time, but what I decided to do was that if I develop a strategy myself, I would know exactly how it works. I wasn't following somebody else with a certain strategy, not understanding fully how it worked. So that was the reason, because then I'd know my strategy inside out.
And a lot of people dream about becoming a professional trader. So how they can reach in that level?
I think what you need is, I did a lot of things myself. I didn't have a mentor, and that was a mistake. And therefore it took a lot of time to learn and make mistakes before I actually started to become competent within that. So I think what is very important is you have a mentor who can assist you in taking away a lot of that time where they can teach you properly the right things.
Okay, and you have managed the international funds for other companies. How it is different from managing your own funds and using others?
I suppose when it's your own money, you want to be a little bit more careful. I don't do that. I have a very logical and systematic and psychological approach to trading. I try to trade as much as I can like a robot. And what I mean by that is I have, for the strategies that I've taught, and also for the strategies that we use on the big accounts, we have a money management plan, we have a risk management plan, and we have an actual account, how that account is going to trade. We trade very low risk, which means that we are doing things to something that we have backtested and know that works. So what I'm trying to say, I suppose, is it's a very logical approach that you have set up when you're doing the strategy, and you do not deviate. When you deviate, that's where psychology comes in. All of a sudden things are going wrong. You're making decisions not based on what you know you should be doing.
So you started the UK Trading Academy in 2010, right? And why do you enter into the teaching field?
Into the teaching field, I've always enjoyed, even in the roles that I've had, very senior roles within industry, I had to talk to staff. And that means that I had to be very positive in what I did, and also to bring people on. This is very important. I didn't understand that when I was younger, and we'll come back to that maybe later. But it was all me when I was very young. I didn't care who I stepped on. But then I realized that the way to achieve things is with people. And I realized that I needed to impart my knowledge onto others to help them grow. Because as they grew and did the work that I was doing, I could naturally go to another senior level and do even more things. So that's what I would say to that point.
So that means anyone can do the trading and they can become the trader if they have any kind of support or mentor.
Yes, they can. Yeah, I believe just about anybody can become a trader, a successful trader. There's a big difference.
If someone is starting from the zero, like how long it will take to become the best trader?
I think that there's a lot of misinformation out in the industry, in the internet about trading. People think you can do it like this, and you can't. It takes time. If I would say, if you've got a good mentor and you develop your strategy, I would say 2 years.
And it's only about the strategy. Is there anything about the psychology?
Okay, this is an interesting point. Psychology is probably more important than the strategy. There are loads of strategies out there, and there are loads of strategies where people lose money, but probably if they investigated the strategy, learned it properly, changed the rules around how they use that strategy, it can become successful. But the thing that gets everybody is psychology, and I would say mindset is 60% to 70% of trading.
Can you give any example from your experience teaching someone and how they become anywhere in the trading? Do you have any experience to share with us?
Yes, certainly. There's people who do revenge trading. They lose a couple of trades, so therefore they increase the amount of money they put on because they're trying to recuperate it. And they will say, oh, I've got a trade just going into profit. I'm going to take that profit now. But it's only a small profit compared to what it could be. And then they say, okay, the market's going the wrong way. It's bound to turn around, so I'll lower my stop loss. I'll keep changing it. And of course, Edsel Murphy's law says if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And that is the very time that it doesn't turn around, and you end up losing 3 or 4 times more than you would have if you'd let it hit a stop loss.
So what do you suggest to become a better habit to become a more professional trader?
I teach within UK Trading Academy a specific way of trading, and I've touched on it with a few of the questions questions that you've asked me already. It's the trading plan. Your trading plan is based around rules. If it does this, I do this. If it does that, I do that. The most important thing is to stick to that trading plan no matter what. And also to make sure that you keep to the same money management. In other words, when you back test, then this is the important thing that people don't understand. They buy a strategy and it says you'll make $1 million in a month. And away they go and they put a load of money on it. The only way that you can be successful is the strategy that you have. You go back and test it. You go back 1 year actually and test it. And it will give you everything you need to know about that strategy. It'll tell you the amount of trades that it loses in a row at some point during that year. And that's the most important thing. When I'm actually back testing something, I don't care about the profits, as long as it's positive. What I do is say, what is the worst case scenario of this strategy in the last year? And you base your money management on the worst case scenario, not just, oh, I'm going to put 1% risk on this trade. You actually generate the amount of money that you put in on a trade from the back testing that you've done on the strategy and the worst case scenario. And that's how you build it. Because then, think of the psychology. I know for a year what this strategy has done. I know that I'm going to have 9 trades in a row lose. So when you get to trade 7 and you're still losing, people will be panicking then and saying, I'm not going to place any more trades. And then the next load of trades win and you'd have made all your money back. You have to stick to your trading plan.
So do you control your students while they're doing the trading and all?
Yes, it's important. It's quite funny, and I've had a lot of unusual looks at me when I say, if my students don't stick to the money management plan, I've got a baseball bat and I'll go around and knock them across the head. I'll find where they live if they don't stick to it. And what I'm trying to say is that how important that is. So students tend to listen to me more in a dictatorial way sometimes when I'm talking about that, because that is how you become successful.
Okay, and one more thing I have to ask you, like since you are in this industry, because we have seen a lot of scammers like asking in social media and asking invest 5,000 and get $10,000 tomorrow. So that kind of scammers are also working like in the industry. So how it affects the trading industry?
It affects the trading industry very badly. And the reason for that is that people's conception, not misconception, or maybe it is a misconception, they think that you can go in there and make a fortune like this. You see all the people who rent an aeroplane, a private aeroplane for 500 quid for an hour, do a load of video in there, as if it's their aeroplane. Lamborghinis driving around Dubai, They'll hire one for £400 for a couple of hours and make out that that's what they're doing. This is the sort of thing you see. You see those things and you see people telling you that you can make significant profits, absolutely loads of profits all the time. That's when you need to be wary. That's the sort of thing that you need to be looking out for. And secondly, what I would say is that if anybody ever asks you, give me this money and then I will trade it and I will make you all of this money, never give anybody money.
I heard from my friends also before that they given some money to someone and after that there is no updates, no follow-up, no report, nothing.
The professional companies will tell you to go and open your own broker account. They will tell you to put the money into your broker account, which is highly regulated, and then you should have a limited power of attorney signed with them to allow them to trade your account only, have no access to the money. They can just trade that account, and the limited power of attorney, which you and they sign, will have the rules of what that trader is going to do on your account. As an example, we're going to place a maximum of 1% risk on any trade. The maximum risk in total on all the trades that we've got running at the moment will never be greater than 3%. If we ever get to a situation, every trade will have a stop loss. If we ever get to a situation where we have lost 20% of your account, we will stop trading and come back to you and see what you want to do. Now, unless somebody says that to you, then you should be very, very worried.
So is there any ratio between profit and loss for the beginners and for the experts who have years of experience in the trading?
It's a difficult question to answer because it's all according what your risk-reward ratio is. If you've got a risk-to-reward ratio of 1 to 2, it means that for every trade that you lose, you will make twice as much on the profitable trades. So you can have a 40% win rate, but you have a 1 to 2 risk-reward ratio. It doesn't matter if it's 40% because 40 of those trades are going to lose 1%, and 60 of those trades are only going to win, say, 2% as an example, if you've got a 60% win rate. But even at a 40% win rate, that 40% is going to win double the amount of money than the 60% is going to lose just one. So you're still going to make a profit. So it's very difficult to say, oh, my performance is this and it has to be over 50%. It's all according what reward you get. What are your targets when you win?
We heard some stories before that they lost all the money by putting all their money in the trading. So how it's happened? Like some people like losing all the money because of the trading. How it's happened? Like is it because of the bad strategy or because of the bad psychology?
It's normally because they just want to take your money. To be blunt with you, they have set up something which is designed to take your money, because it's almost impossible to lose an account. You know, when I'm on stage, although I speak obviously all over the world, and I ask everybody, how many of you have lost your account? And I would say 70 to 80% of people put their hands up. And I said, but if you had the strategy which you'd back tested, this goes back to the same fundamental things. You would know the worst case scenario. So therefore, your risk, the amount of money that you put on it, would never take your account lower than a certain percentage. To be able, and because you're putting an amount on which is of the equity that you have in there, it would take thousands of trades if you were trading properly with the right money management to lose your account, which is impossible because you would have stopped before then. So no, if you lose an account, it means that somebody has done something bad and they've just done it to take your money.
Okay, so is there any body to control that kind of issue?
It's very, very difficult, no. We have bodies which are set up around the world, regulators, but they regulate companies. For the people who are going online and doing Telegram groups, etc., they're not regulated. So no, it's there's no real regulation and safety for people.
I think that's one of the biggest issue nowadays the traders are facing, because the genuine traders have this kind of issues in the market. Like when they're entering the market, they have to issue all the market. Because I am also getting a lot of calls from outside country to put my money into the trading. So, but because we can see definitely they're not a genuine company. They're calling from different location, not even from an official number. They don't have a permanent office. Like that kind of people are misusing the trading platform and trading journey of the person who is wish to become a best trader in the industry.
One thing that I say on stage, which people look at me sometimes, but then realize the logic behind it. Between 85% and 90% of all people who trade lose money. So in that case, 85 to 90% of all the things they're being told, they're learning, systems that they're joining, Telegram groups that they're joining, 85 to 90% of them must be rubbish. Because otherwise we'd have people winning money. We'd have a greater percentage. But those percentages go together. 85 to 90% of all people lose money, but they're following something. So that means 85 to 90% of all the stuff out there is rubbish. Certainly, well, we have three different levels that we have. We go all the way up to an MBA, but we have three different levels for people who are not interested in the qualifications. They want to learn how to trade. We have a basic, a Forex basics, we have an intermediate trader, and we have pro trader. The pro trader curriculum is exactly the same as if you did an MBA. Okay, that's the level of it is. Our Forex Basics is the first 6 modules of the Pro Trader. The Intermediate Trader is the first 16 modules of Pro Trader. And then Pro Trader obviously is the full 26 modules, which has the same equivalency of an MBA course. It's that detailed. But what we do is, even with Forex Basics, we provide them with a strategy that has been tested over time. So even when they take the Forex Basics course, they get a strategy that they can then use. A lot of education is given for education reasons. No, it's very different, because if you look on the UK Trading Academy site, our aim is not to teach you to become to become an intellectual trader who never places a trade. We teach you how to trade the markets to make financial gain. There is a big difference in the focus. We want to teach you something that is going to work and you're going to be able to use to advance what you're doing at the moment and to be able to make money from the markets. The strategy that we provide with Forex Basics, that strategy has made more than the top hedge fund in the world has for the last 20 years. That's one heck of a statement, and that's £500. You're getting that. My daughter, who is now 13, she learned that at 9, and she's able to make between 20 and 30% profit a year. Yes, exactly. Obviously, she's not allowed to trade because she's under 18, but she uses a demo account, my demo account. But she's capable, from 9 years old, a child who has severe ADHD. She wants to become the best female female trader in the world by the time she's 18. But you just look at that. She's making more than most people can trading in the world just by using that fantastic little strategy that we provide with Forex Basics. She's getting my support as well. But, it just gives you an idea that we don't provide a course for a course sake. We provide a course and then we provide you something which you can then use to make money.
Okay, so if someone join with you, you will assess and you will evaluate their understanding before going for the trading, right? Correct. Because you cannot push someone to the trading without understanding all the elements in the trading.
No, that's right. Every single one of our courses, even the Pro Trader, because we give the same, it's the same modules that we're providing, it assumes that you have no knowledge whatsoever of trading. So we teach you right from the beginning. We assume nothing. We teach you everything that you need to know.
Is there any certification for those?
There is certification. We're here in Dubai at the moment. We have certification and accreditation, actually. We have accreditation, which is worldwide, and we have certification from KHDA through ASTC. ASTC are providing our courses, but we do have the certification, yes.
Okay, and next question I have to ask you, like artificial intelligence is changing every industry. How it's affecting the trading industry?
Okay, this is really interesting, and this is where we come to people who are, I hate to use the word scammers, obviously, but people who are not providing the right information to people that they're buying. Now, all of those people have jumped on the AI bandwagon. We have a strategy which is run by AI. It's a load of rubbish because that means they don't understand AI. In the IFX show, which we had in February here in Dubai, the huge IFX show, I was actually asked by the conference if I would do a special keynote speech on the difference between manual, algorithmic trading and AI trading. And it opened a lot of people's eyes. It really did, because you can't just plonk AI into an indicator or a strategy. It needs a tremendous amount of infrastructure and software behind it to be able to do that. Again, people using the latest craze to make you buy something, and it's inaccurate.
That's good. And I have seen that you have spoken in many international events and conferences and all. So why do you think people want to go and attend the conference, physical conference?
At a conference, you tend to get the best of the best. Yes, speaking at the events, people who know or should I say, people who know what they're talking about. People who are in the industry, are well known in the industry. And I think for people who go to conferences, it's your chance to be able to learn the correct information, to be able to see what's really happening in the industry, and to be able to give you more knowledge again to be able to do things correctly. That is why people jump on planes. And also the networking aspect. They meet people that can help them on their journey.
I know that you will be speaking in the GCC FMT conference in November in Dubai. So how you look forward to that program?
I love it when I'm on stage. I know it's very unusual. You see people going on stage and it can ruin them. You see them shriveling up on stage, especially people who don't have so much experience of doing that. But I actually love speaking on stage. I love giving people good knowledge about the subject that I'm talking about so they have the right information. And that's what it's all about. Everything that we do within the company, you look at our websites, there's no flash cars, there's no big houses, there's no pound signs and Bitcoin coins dropping down through the screen. Yeah, we do things correctly. And I think that if people get the right advice, get the right information and the right education, they can be successful at trading.
And also this kind of conferences, like there are many senior level people attending and all around the Middle East and outside also. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity for the people to network and connect each other and do the business together.
Yes, it is, because networking is a great thing and you can learn from people, and it's surprising who you meet. You can go to a conference, meet somebody, and that was the best thing that's happened to you within the trading industry, because you've gained some knowledge, or you've got a mentor to help you, or something that you have been provided by them that's going to help you on your journey.
And one more question I have to ask you. People in the industry call you Mr. Ron Seal. What does it mean?
Okay, in the UK, we have a company which provide paint. Okay, so paints for all sort of things. Paints for inside a house, outside of the houses, for fences, etc. And the reason that I was called Mr. Ron Seal is Ron Seal have a description on the tin, and it says, we do what we say on the tin. So if that Ron Seal paint says it's going to not peel for 5 years, it won't peel for 5 years. If they say that for 3 years you don't need to redo your garden fence, you won't redo your garden fence. So I suppose the person who actually actually coined that phrase for me. I suppose they saw that when I say something, I do it correctly.
So you started your career from a shop in Europe. So what is the message you have to give to the new people who is going to start their career?
I think that what you need to do is focus on what you need to do to make yourself successful in the career that you've decided. Too many people do too many things, and therefore you become a generalist of a load of things instead of a master of one. What I would say to people is, whatever your dream is, okay, whatever dream you have, a lot of people say it's only a dream, you can't achieve it. I've achieved many of my dreams, and I think the reason that I do that is I'm very, very focused. When I decide to do something, I put all of my energy into it. Don't do anything half-hearted. Put everything into it and you will succeed.
Do you have the habit of reading?
I do read, yes, especially when I'm on holidays, which I'm about to go on now in a couple of days.
Okay, is there any specific book influence you?
There's a number, I suppose, Diary of a CEO, but one I do like is Kiyosaki's Rich Man, Poor Man. That taught me an awful lot.
And I have a quick fire session for you. So I'll ask you some questions. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Oh, night owl. Yes, a night owl. I'm no good in the mornings. And that's bad for a trader, mind, but I have to struggle to get up.
So stock or Forex?
Forex.
Currency trade or gold trade?
Currency.
Book or podcast?
Podcast.
Bull market or bear market?
I don't care. I teach my students to make money in a bull market and a bear market. I don't care if it's going up or down.
So finally, I have to ask you, what is the best message you can give to our audience while watching this program?
I think the best message that I can give is trading is a fantastic thing to get into. Okay, and I'll call it a thing. It's a fantastic thing to get into. And you can make great wealth from trading and trading properly. But what I would say to people is that if you are coming into this industry, listen to some of the things that I've told you about, where people are going to pull you into things which do not work. Take your money for the wrong reasons. Check it correctly. But once you've decided, right, this is the route that I'm going to go, as I said, put everything into it. That's what I would tell people. Be careful, very careful.
So Paul, for your time. It was a pleasure talking with you. And we look forward to meet you in November with GCC FMT conference. And thank you everyone for watching our show. We can see you next time.
Great. It's a pleasure to have been here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.